All right, what's going on, everyone? I'm here with Shaun with Legendary Painting, and we are here with a business breakthrough, just kind of diving into his business. And I guess, normally, man, the first thing I do when I start these, just start off. Tell me what's going super well, and then tell me what is something that you would like to be going better. So why don't we start there?
So going super well is putting everything financially, I guess I would say, not really all the way, but I mean, I have enough equipment to run, a 7-man crew setup. I have, my vehicle. I have, I'm just dialed in as far as equipment. My company is basically debt free,
Okay.
so I don't have a lot of debt. I kind of put it all in place. And so that's kind of where everything is set up to explode. But the problem is getting, man, I like to say I'm a better bullet than I am a gun, but you point me in the right direction and I nail the target dead on every time. And so
Okay.
that's kind of where, that's where it's, I'm not finding traction in really how to establish all of my systems. And I mean, I can go out and like, I just finished an exterior, and it went well. I just cruised through it. The super cool homers. But man, I got ADHD like crazy. And like, I get out there and I'm like squirrel, it's like finding my way to actually execute from estimate to job site is where I'm really struggling. Like, man, estimates, they take me a minute to get out, and I communicate well. So that keeps my cut, who I'm trying to give estimates, they're okay, but it's taken too long, straight up. It's taking too long to get estimates out, book the jobs, schedule the jobs, get to the jobs. It's just I'm not
Gotcha.
executing in the way I want to.
Gotcha.
So
So it sounds like you want to be you want to go straight, but right now it's kind of spaghetti. And I think
yeah,
what's happening is you see yourself in the future with this infrastructure you've built of having the nice equipment, the nice branding, you see all these things, but there's just this like pile of spaghetti stopping you from getting there. And just from you explaining that, it was even hard for me to really dial in on one thing. So what I like to do, I'm not even going to touch on that. Let's go down all the way deep into the like the foundation of your business, because that's going to tell us really what direction we need to go in. So first thing, when I hear that, I want to know, number one, what is your role in the company, and how many
uh,
people do you have working for you?
it's just me right now, and
Okay.
I have the reason I haven't even looked at anything else. I don't have a huge backlog first, but I don't want to have somebody else's bills relying on me until I'm executing properly as an owner. I think it's
Okay.
not cool to do that
I
to people. Like,
understand that.
hey, so
I understand that. So let me come at you from a different direction, because first of all, I want to tell you that if you look at it in that way of saying, if I bring someone on, I have to carry the burden of their bills, and I do not want that responsibility.
yeah,
You need to transition to, I have the ability to be a blessing to someone, because I created a business that's a safe haven. Because if I don't do this, then they're at the mercy of those other contractors out there that could care less and really just want to
yeah.
pad their pockets. Okay. Because there's a good person out there that would love to work for you just based off of chatting with you for a few minutes. Am I right? I mean, because if you go in with
I'm
the,
a pretty good dude, man. I
I can
mean,
tell, and
I care.
there's, let me put it straight for you. There's not enough guys like you and me in this industry, and we have a fantastic responsibility to actually advance the trade, which I know you're trying to do. We talked about your clothing line that you want to do, and you want to really advance. You love it, but you can't have that mindset to start off when it comes to people. And I
Yeah,
believe that the only way, this is rule number one, the only way that you get clarity and you can take a deep breath and you can take that sigh of relief is the people that you have in your business, because they're the ones that are going to operate on your behalf when you're not there. So you can have that sigh of relief. Let me give you some context, not bragging, just informing. I
yeah,
own a painting business. I have 13 employees now. Okay. I'm
that's
in this
good.
office every single day. I rarely go to jobs. I rarely see my team. Okay. Now, someone say, man, that's pretty insincere. It's not, though. I call them almost every day. I'm on the phone with them, personally and business, just asking how their family's doing, keeping those relationships good. I'm just doing it from a distance, just like you and I are. Right
Yeah.
now, we're connecting and I'm not in your face. We don't need to shake
Yep.
hands, So
Yeah.
I'm able to utilize the resources we have to maintain positive relationships. So for
Yeah.
me, it's like, okay, let me understand where I'm best. And that's going to be in an administrative role as a business owner. And that, I know you know that, but I just want to set the foundation that although I'm here right now, the jobs are being done to the standard of which they would be if I were there.
See, that's all because look, I'm like you. I'm 6'8", 300 pounds, back's not in great shape.
You
So
are not like me. I'm 5'8". I'm just
so,
kidding.
but what I mean,
No,
so
I get
the long
you.
short is I am better at the people, the
Right.
networking, that's what
I can
I
tell.
shine at. The
100%.
painting,
So,
man, I'll tell you, I was the third wheel in my dad's company.
right.
My brother and my dad were A and B, and I was C, out doing gutters from the ground. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I
And
love it.
so that's where, you know what I mean? It's not
So you're
the
at so you're
painting
at
that gives,
ground zero, and I
yeah,
grasp that fully. That your strength is, I mean, again, you're starting a clothing line. You like to market. You love the sales process. You probably feel horrible that you can't get to the estimates on time, and it's making you
yep, it's
feel
killing me.
it's killing you because you know that your customers, like after the second time you reschedule, your customers are obviously getting frustrated, and then when
Yep,
you get there, they're not as excited, and you probably are missing out on business. So let me put it
big
this
time.
way. Let me put it this way, and I'm going to go even deeper. Do you have money to fall back on if this doesn't work? I mean, are you well off to the point that if your painting business doesn't fails,
So
are you good?
no, so let me tell you, my wife, she is the manager of a jewelry store. She does decently well. Nothing.
Okay.
We're definitely the bottom of the middle class.
Okay.
You know, that has been the only reason I've been able to do what I do, is because for the most part, her income has covered our finances. I put a ton into this. And no, I don't have anything. That's where it really, painting was a hard decision to actually decide to follow through with this, because to be honest, I'd always kind of resented it because I never got all the experience that I wanted from working with my dad and my brother. And so, you know, I feel like I'm missing part of the pieces. But when I committed, my wife looked at me and she said, look, you got to follow this through regardless. Cause if I decided to drop everything, she would support me, but
Right.
I'm not doing
So
that.
you have an
So
incredible wife, as do I, who supported my dreams. Let me tell you
isn't that the best?
something. Now, let me ask you this. Would, if you could go up to your wife and you could say, hey, honey, um, painting business is doing so well, you can quit your job. What would she say to you?
That's what she wants, man. She wants to
That
be
what
home
she
with the
want,
kids
right?
and at the river all day.
So let me tell you what I created. My wife is retired. She's 27, and her mom is retired. Okay. My
Wow.
mother passed away, but she'd be retired if she were here. My grandmother passed away. I was working on her. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
my mission is retiring the people I love.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
So for
I'm
me,
Italian, so family is like
family is the
that.
most important
That's it,
thing.
man. That's
So
it.
I'm on that mission, and when it comes down to it, again, it's the people that will help you get there. Now, not everyone has that luxury. I understand that my employees may not have that luxury, but one thing that I do whenever I have employees, and I recognize that, is I try to be a blessing. I try to be a stepping stone for them to advance their life. Everyone has goals, right? Like just because my
Yep.
goals are at a higher level than theirs, they want to retire themselves first before they can retire other
Yep.
people, but they have different motivations. And I invest time in understanding what their motivations are. For example, I have someone in my business who has been wanting to buy a house with his wife for 10 years. They've been married
Yeah.
for 20 and they couldn't get a house. But because I created a business that had pay stubs and I didn't take the shortcut by just paying
Yeah.
cash or check and doing
Which
what
is
they
the
probably
worst.
wanted in the
Yeah.
beginning because that's what they were used to. They wanted that check every week that had no taxes taken out. And I understood that my competition probably would have been okay doing that. But guess what?
Yeah.
I had their best interest in mind. I said, you know what? The best way to do it is for me to do it this way. Although it's going to be less every week, you're going to thank me later because you're going to be secure enough to get to your end goal, which is to get a house. So, what I try to do is I try to help my team members advance financially or in their
Yep.
life. So, they treat my business as a vehicle to help them get to where they want to go. So, they care
Oh,
more.
oh, hey,
we have
sorry.
a we have
This,
another reason to succeed here. I see his
yeah.
daughter just
She,
popped up on the
Lucy,
screen.
I want you to sit down and watch, and you can say hi to Tanner. Say hi.
Hi. So even more of a reason to succeed, right?
That's it, man.
So I'm trying to give you because you told me something that I mean we've got to get past, which is you do not feel confident enough to be responsible for someone else's bills, probably
Yeah.
because, brother, you almost feel like you can't handle your own bills. And there's no way that you feel like you can handle someone else's. Is
I
that
just,
true?
you know what, 100%, man. I mean, you know, I do okay with money when I got it, but a lot of times I grew up poor. So
I
I grew
understand.
up
Me too.
poor. Like I tell people, I don't even care about being a millionaire. Let me be a
Right.
thousandaire. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
because you know
so,
what it's like
uh,
to have nothing and find joy in nothing, as did I. And I'm telling you that I know that your mission is not money, so let's get that out of the way. Your
yeah,
mission is freedom and time with the people that you love,
yep,
as it is mine. So let me help you get there. First of all, you're never going to have the right time to hire somebody. Get that out of the way. If you have an idea that there will be this right time where somebody
yeah,
speaks into your ear and says, it's time to hire, okay, no, that's not going to
yeah,
happen. The problem is that you haven't come across the perfect applicant yet who believes in you and your vision, and you do not feel compelled to make sure that that individual stays with you because he's so good and he's going to free you. So for
yeah,
me, that is your external motivation. That is going to push you to actually be creative enough to create systems in your business to create more income. Okay.
yeah,
That's step one. Step one is finding someone who believes in your vision and being okay with making less money for 2 weeks. Let me tell you this game plan that I tell people to do because the idea that you can't afford somebody in the painting business is ludicrous. First of all, you're in a market right now that we haven't seen in so long that as long as
yeah,
your name is visible somewhere, you're going to get called. Okay.
yep.
How many jobs do you have in the pipeline right now?
So right now I've got one on the books. I got a second that I
That's
just
all I need to hear. You have one on the books. When's the job scheduled for?
July 19th.
July 19th. Is that your next job?
That's my next job.
Beautiful. So here's the thing. Where are we at? June 21st?
Yep. I got about a
Okay.
month. I got
Ready? So
two. I
watch this
got
plan.
one.
How
Go
much
ahead.
is that job? Just hear me out. How much is that job?
7,500 bucks.
Beautiful. $7,500. Okay. How long will that job take you to do by yourself?
Ooh, by myself, it's pushing it, man. I don't move as fast as some of these other guys, man. I mean,
Just what did you
I would
budget
book
it
it.
out for mentally? What did you say? How long? You got to have
I
some idea.
Well, so I told myself that if I was going to do it solo, it'd be 3 weeks, and I just
Three
give myself
weeks.
that
Okay.
because
All
I
right.
don't move. I move very slow, bro. I'm 6'8". If I
I
fall
don't
off a
care. That's not what I'm
28
concerned
foot,
about. Not at all.
yeah,
I don't, that, those details I'm trying, I want to get you from point A to point B now. 3 weeks, that's fine. So
yep,
really, that job's going to sustain you for a month. You're going to use about 2 grand in paint on a $7,500 job, around 1,500, 2 grand. It sounds like
yep.
pretty big
Which
house.
it's already sitting in my garage because of the paint
Already, so you're
shortage.
ready to go. So I love that you're preparing. Okay. But where I'm getting at is we look at time. Okay. You're telling me that you can't find, or it's not, you can't find right now. You're worried that you won't be able to pay someone. First of all, again, the key is finding the right person. That takes time. Have you ever hired anyone before?
Nope, nope.
Okay.
So
So
my
good.
whole life, when my dad, when we'd always, it was me and my brother and my dad, and then we'd hire our friends. That was just how it worked.
Right.
That was how we did it, man. I mean, my brother, he has another company in Southern Oregon, and we're all not really, in the keyword is professionalized. Nick Slavic says that a lot, professionalized in your company.
Right.
And so we're old school still. We were raised by my dad, who was an
Right.
old school painter who did the jobs, collected the
Right.
checks, painted, and that was it. And
Right. Which
so,
is how the industry is still looked at. And what you're trying to
yep,
do here is you're actually trying to create a business because I hope you're well aware. And I think you mentioned this, you have a job and you are just a employee of your company right now and you're doing everything. That would be like me in my business hiring you to actually go sell the jobs for me, do the estimates, do the painting, pick up the painting, answer the phones, and do everything. I just stand back and watch you struggle. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what's occurring right now. So you need to break up some of those responsibilities and roles. If we actually sat here, there'd be probably about 20 to 30 things that you're responsible for on a daily basis if you're optimizing, like following up with customers, canvassing,
Yeah.
networking, going to pick up paint,
Yep.
typing notes about what the job entails, checking in on
Yeah.
colors. Dude, there's way too many things in a
Yeah.
painting business to
Yeah.
do that you're not even doing half of them that you should be. And if, even if you are, you're not doing them to the standard of which I know you want to. So
Yep. 100%, man.
first, it's okay. Go ahead. You can take care of it.
No, Lucy, hey, I need you to go out, honey, and I will be out in just a little while. And I'll put the game on and we can have a good day and we'll relax and okay, go have Weston put it on. Shut the door. Okay, he's gonna put the game on for you. Shut the door. Yep. Sorry about that.
No problem, bro. My daughter's too, so I know what it is.
Yeah,
So
it's the
anyway,
best, man.
it is. It's the again, let's get to a
Motivating
point.
factors.
Let's motivating factors. You have a lot of those. So let's talk about hiring, because hiring is your
Okay.
foundation. Get rid of the idea that you can't afford someone or you can't keep someone busy.
So
Okay,
let me ask you. So before we get, how do I just, like, right now I have one job scheduled, right? That's not, I mean, say I
I'm
bring
about
on
to
a
get there.
guy,
I know where you're going with this. I
you know what I'm
don't,
saying?
again,
Like,
I know where you're going with this because everyone
yeah,
experiences it, and that's what's going to stop you from growing. So that's where I asked for data. So first of all, you have a $7,500 job scheduled, okay, and you have it
yep,
scheduled, let's say 3 weeks from now. From this point forward, after this call, okay, to next week, you should be canvassing for help. Okay. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my hiring course, and it has a 4-step process in there to ensure that you get quality applicants. Super easy. Okay. And what you should be doing for the next 7 days is canvassing for employees using online channels like Craigslist, Indeed, ZipRecruiter. Okay. That's number
yep,
one. Step two, phone interviews, background checks. Okay. Super
yep,
easy. I have a system for that. Okay. Obviously, if you get to the point where you want to hire somebody, you would do a background check. I do a social media check. So if somebody applies for my company, I'm pumping them into social media and I'll get a good feeling of whether or not they would fit our brand. Let's put it that way. Okay. With the way
so
they,
before, I mean, I guess so I started my company as a sole proprietorship, so
okay.
I still, there's even I have to transition to be able to have employees get the workman's comp and all that, because right
Okay.
now I
Don't
just
worry
did that
about all those
initially.
things.
Okay.
Don't worry about them right now. Let's just find a good applicant
Okay.
first. Okay. Because if you put
Okay.
those barriers in front of you, it'll just be
Yeah.
something that's going to stop you from moving forward. You are
Okay.
stalled right now, bro.
Big
And I've
time.
got to get you unstuck. Sometimes we gotta think big before we're big, and that'll propel us to be big. So that's where I'm
Yeah.
trying to help you understand is that there is nothing in the world right now. You are a business entity, whether you're a sole proprietorship or not. No one's going to knock on your door if you reach out to ask if anyone wants a job with your awesome,
Yeah.
amazing, growing, scaling company. So let's start there.
Yep.
I'm giving you a timeline. Okay. So you have 1 week
Okay.
to find an applicant that you can see working side by side with. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say that you get applicants that come in, you're going to do a phone interview, an in-person interview. And then what you're going to tell them is that you have to wait for the background check. So that'll extend it out another week. Okay.
Yeah.
Another week right there. What you should be doing from now until 2 weeks from now is trying to find a job before that $7,500 one. Okay. So your goal would be to delay the hire's first day for 2 weeks. Any longer than that, obviously you're going to miss out, because no one's going to wait longer than 2 weeks if they have another opportunity. Not many people have
Yep.
that luxury, right? So in that 2 week time, all you got to do is find one job. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't need to know that your pipeline is not full. Okay.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
called stacking the deck. And I've done
Yeah.
it. And every time I hire somebody, even now, I think, man, am I going to be able to keep this guy busy? But if the applicant is that good, I exhaust every resource to find jobs, no matter what, because I want to keep them and I want
Yeah.
them to be happy. And I do have that responsibility to make sure that their families can eat. So that
Yeah.
motivation in itself will push you to make phone calls, will push you to be creative. But here's the thing. You're looking for a specific individual. You need a painter. Painters need a businessman. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yep.
So right now, what you need to be looking at is a potential partnership. Although they're an employee, you need to think of someone who can run a job by themselves. You don't have the luxury to find a helper right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's talk about money because that's what they usually come to work for. So
Yep.
let me ask you
Yeah.
this. What are you willing to pay somebody who can paint an entire house by themselves with no supervision hourly?
Well, I mean, so I'll tell you that number. I mean, it's going to be not $18 an hour. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be
What's it going to
higher,
be?
20s, 30s. You know what I
I want to
mean?
know
Maybe even,
exactly the number. Tell me the exact number that if I
man,
came to work
probably
for you, interview right
probably
now, what is it?
if you were capable of running the job completely, hitting my quality, I mean, minimum $35 an hour.
Wow. Love it. So let me tell you something. If you put out an ad right now and said, hey, Legendary Painting, hiring expert craftsmen, can do all aspects of painting, $35 an hour to start, I would go 30.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you think someone's going to apply to that?
most likely.
How many? I think you're going to get a lot of applications. What state are you
Yeah,
in?
I'm in Oregon.
Wow. So I think that you're going to get, and I know that the standard's pretty high in Oregon. I know that in
Yeah,
terms of painting, but guess what? You're at the high end. Okay. Right now you're betting on yourself. And really
yeah,
no one in the world, but besides me, you and these podcast listeners or whoever's listening to this knows that your pipeline is not 100% full right now. But guess
yeah,
what? I truly believe that if it takes you 3 weeks to do this
yeah.
job and you bring in a master craftsman, he can get it done in 2. Okay.
I
Right.
profit.
And that you profit, but in that 2 week span, guess what you're doing for 2 weeks? What are
Get
you doing?
looking for more jobs.
Thank you.
Estimating.
Thank
Yeah,
you. You're not missing
yeah,
any more estimates. You're leaving him alone and you're timing it in your head. 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks to
yeah,
find one more job. Let me get him one more job. Come on, bro. Honestly, if you do it right, you could start looking for work now. And I know you got some more that are pending. Your focus is to keep that guy completely busy, one guy at a time, right? Then you start thinking, okay, cool. I have this system down. I'm doing estimates. I'm starting to get jobs. My pipeline's actually getting kind of full. I have my one guy booked for 6 weeks now. I need to get him a helper. Then you sit down with them and you have a conversation and say, listen, I think you've done a great job. I want to make you a project manager and I'm going to get you a helper. Now you find a helper. Now you stack 2 people. Now this is where it gets fun because you can find apprentices. You can find people that want to learn the trade. You can
yeah,
now you're a business owner, man. Now
yeah,
you're a business owner. First, it starts with the mentality. All business owners have a certain mentality, and that is, I will find a way. And if the
yeah,
motivation is strong enough, which it is, your wife believes in you and she's working right now, and you have the power truly to free that woman from work and have her home
yeah,
right now.
yeah,
It comes down
yeah,
to a gamble. It comes down to a bet. And the bet
yeah,
is on yourself. There's no one in the world that believes in yourself more than you. So,
yeah,
so with that strategy there, it's a plan. Obviously, it's a little scary, but guess
yeah.
what? The
Well, so I
reward
was
is
just gonna
so
say,
freaking great.
I'm not scared of nothing on the planet except for failure. I hate failure.
You
It
can't
makes
be
me
scared of that. That's what's paralyzing you, brother. You just
straight
gave me
up,
the
man.
key.
I'm
You
like,
just gave
I'll
me the
get in a
key right now.
scrap in the backyard. I don't care. I'll get like, you know what I mean? Like in traffic, I'll defend. I don't care
What
what
is
it
your, let me
is.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. What about failure scares you so much?
I just, you know what? It's embarrassing. It's
Embarrassing. So
embarrassing.
ego is what drives
Big
you.
time, man. I'm a lot. I grew up. So man, it's taken
You're the
me
biggest guy in the room most of the time. Tallest guy.
and yep, yep. And my problem is I'm eliminating ego from my 20s now as a family man, 36
Love it.
years old,
Transition.
trying to
Yes,
try.
dude.
And that's the problem is I'm like, my ego, like, so here's the, like, I get a job and I'm like, I don't know, man, I haven't done a ton of this work. And my ego just says, well, just pass it up. And then you don't embarrass yourself trying to do a job that you don't know how
Wow.
to do.
Wow. You know what's even more embarrassing? When you tell your customer you can't make it to an estimate because your business isn't run the right way. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You don't know it. But if you were
Yeah.
face to face with that person and you said, hey, I can't make it to this appointment, they look at you like wow. Like so you're avoiding that embarrassment. Sometimes you probably don't even go and you tell them you can't make it and you never have to deal with the consequences of that, the true embarrassment. And that is failure, by the way. You're experiencing
Yeah.
failure right now. You have no work for X amount of weeks,
Yeah.
no income coming in.
Yep.
No
You're right.
employees, nothing.
You're
This
right.
is failure, just so you know. So if that is your greatest fear, it's not that bad right now. I mean, you're at failure. Like it's not that bad. Like
I
it's
like
okay.
you, man. I like you, man. I always get along with people who call my big self on all my crap, man. So
Hey, you
like,
signed
you
up
know,
for this, bro.
yeah.
I just
You know
we
what?
got to
That's
cut
I
through it
did
because I
sign
don't
up
know you
for it.
from Adam, bro. But at the very least, you're gonna remember me as the person that just told you what you needed to hear. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you because I want you to be successful. I really do. You have a family. You and I are a lot alike. I can just tell by your demeanor, how you treat your kids. That was great for me to see, and just get a feel that, hey, listen, you have an opportunity to change the course of generations. You grew up broke. I grew up broke. Okay, we had to go to
Yeah.
food pantries. Electric was shut off. No
Paper
TV.
food stamps.
Oh, bro, I food stamps, free lunch at school. Okay,
Yep.
embarrassing. That's
Yep.
embarrassing. Okay. And I decided to
Yeah.
change things. And it started with an attitude and a belief in myself. So, where I'm getting
Yeah.
at with you is, first of all, never tell me that you're worried about being responsible for someone else's bills, because there's another
Yeah.
side to that, man. I'm now a blessing to 13 people. And actually, I counted down the line, 55 people benefit from my ability to sell jobs. That's their kids and all the people
Yeah.
involved. Okay. And the fact that they don't have to worry about dad coming home angry because the boss put too much pressure on them. Dad comes home
Yeah.
happy every day because the boss is so laid back when it comes to, hey, I got to go take care of something. Yeah, go ahead. I don't care if there's a freaking job that's going to make me 10 grand that needs to be done Friday. If someone tells me they got a family issue, there's no question. Whatever. I'll go freaking paint. If it's
Yeah.
genuine, I'll know if someone's taking advantage of me. That's
Yeah.
being a blessing. So there's a need for good leaders. And you are really, I mean, whatever's stopping you, which is this fear of failure, which you're at. So you shouldn't be afraid of it because you're there and it's not that bad.
So so I'll tell you, man, and like this is probably the worst thing for me is I am with the right plan in place. I am a savage at leadership. So I'll tell you,
Love it.
like one day a week, I work at GNC because I love health and fitness. That's what I decided because I wanted to, that was what I ultimately left painting originally to do. But I work at GNC just because it's my interaction with people. It's a great place to network and give out my cards, if you need
Fantastic.
paint work. And so um they have everything in place, structure and everything. And so I just follow what they got on paper. And so that's where I struggle is because this is all dependent on me and I don't have enough. Like I'm learning. I read stuff that,
Let me ask you
I
go.
reach out to
I'm
guys
giving
like
you
you.
that structure now. I'm giving you a
Yeah.
4-week plan that says,
Yeah.
hey, I'm telling you, if you listen to this and implement it, you will see a different life in 4 weeks from now. I guarantee it. There's no way around it. The only thing that's going to stop
Yeah.
you from doing it
Is me.
is not doing it. I'm telling you what you need to do. I'm telling you right
Yeah.
now. Okay. Do you have $200?
Yeah.
Awesome. You're going to spend all 200 of that on ads on
Come
Indeed,
here.
on ZipRecruiter, and on
Yeah.
Craigslist.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Take care of your
Okay.
business. No worries, bro. I know you got the girl.
Hey, honey, you're okay, honey. You're okay. What happened? Hey, look at me. It'll be okay. Go out. Weston will get the okay. He'll get it for you. You don't have to melt. So yeah, I mean, so all right, man. I mean, see, I guess that's what's stressful for me is because like I've been like the little bit. I got $900 in my business account right now. Paint's
Okay.
bought though. I'm pretty
Paint's
much
good.
debt free,
So
except for
love it.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. So can
But
I ask you, do you have a credit account with Sherwin-Williams?
I do.
Good. How much of a credit limit did they give you?
Oh, I don't. I mean, I've always kept it zeroed out. So like right now is
Don't
the
keep it
first time.
zeroed out. Don't ever keep it zeroed out. There's no reason
Really?
to. It's free money, 0% interest. You should never zero that thing out. I owe 20
I pay
grand
it off.
right
I've been
now.
paying it off every month since I got it.
Yeah,
Like
I
I pay
pay
it
it off.
zeroed.
Yeah, you pay it every month, but I'm just saying that like this month, like especially I know you got that job. If you get any more work, keep the cash flow for paying your guys. But before you didn't have that responsibility. The cash flow
Yeah.
now is another insurance policy that says you can pay your guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
stop buying the paint. Paint can wait. Guys can't. So use the cash flow in the most urgent fashion. Again, that
Yeah.
should be another security blanket for you to say, I can do this because worst case, you don't pay for the paint. which you will. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, like, again, that's another
Uh,
thing that we can think about. So here's the action plan. And I'm going to wrap it up. I know you got your kids, but if I give you
oh,
too much, it's no problem,
yeah,
bro. I just want to get you going. Like after this here, bro. First thing, I'm going to give you my hiring course. Okay. I'll message you separately for that. That's number one. Okay. Number one, it's going to take you, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes to do, but you'll get the wireframe of how I hire and make sure I get quality applicants. Okay. That's
yeah,
number one. You got to get that. And then from there, it's easy. Number two, you're going to put out ads on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and Craigslist and Facebook. Do you have a Facebook business page?
I do.
Okay. So Facebook allows you to put ads for hiring on there. Okay. Super simple. Okay. Number three, okay. This week, what you're doing is you're going to try to get 4 good applicants. So that's the metric, 4 good applicants. That means you want to do 4 phone interviews. You want to meet 2 of them. Okay. Because on the phone interview, you're going to probably be like, I don't know if I like this guy. Okay. But
Yeah,
what your goal is from a week from today is to set up 2 in-person interviews at a Starbucks, at a
yeah,
McDonald's. It doesn't matter. You're going to sit with them face to face,
yep,
ask them questions about their experience. Okay. Because what you're looking for is somebody with a lot of experience.
yeah,
Okay. That's where we're going with that. And then do a background check, pretty much tell them that they can start the day of when that job starts. Now, is there any way you can move that job back a week that you have scheduled on the 21st for July?
I'm not sure because he had actually I was originally trying to schedule it earlier, but I mean I mean he might let me. He might
Okay.
let me.
So there's some leverage that you have to have as a business owner. The customer doesn't know your situation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if I call a customer right now and say, "Hey, just so you know, we've got to move you back a week. We're that's just the way the schedule goes." Okay, no problem. Unless there's
Yep.
a real reason. Remember, as a business owner, you gotta use your leverage a little bit if you need to schedule a
Yeah.
job at a certain time. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it might be easier to do that than to find a completely new job a week before that. And then, so I'm saying utilize that option first. So when you find that guy, boom, he's starting on that next job. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's an
Okay.
action plan right now. You got to find one guy. You're just finding one person to do the job. You no longer paint for your company. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this. What type of jobs have you been taking on lately? Like what type of jobs?
So mainly this year have basically been exteriors, man. I mean I did so my brother, so that's kind of it's the worst thing is like I use him as a crutch to be honest, because like he's a beast. Like he's just a beast at painting, man. He's
Right.
just like
Some people
he
just
got
got it.
enrolled into he's just you know what it's what he does. He to be
Right.
honest, he'd rather just paint all day. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to do
Right.
he just wants to paint, say hi to his customers, enjoy his business, spend time. And so I've been able to fall back on that, and so that's kind of what's also kept me, I guess, is I'm like, hey man, what's up? Like get the assist. Like I got this door job. I was like, hey, just come up and do it with me. I'll split it with you, and we'll be good. And so I'm great at scheduling, I'm great at everything. And that's kind of where we're different from each other, and so that's what I've been falling back on. But yeah, it's exteriors, man. I mean, I've just
Okay.
been
Great.
knocking exteriors. I've
I
done some
love it.
interiors and
How are you getting
this year.
business currently?
So I mean, mostly it's been organic, man. I mean,
Do you have a website?
I do. I
Okay. Do you
do.
have a Google page? Like if I go to Google and
Yep.
Google
Google
painters in your
business. Yep.
area,
Yep.
okay, you have all that. Okay.
Yep.
Have you ever thought about buying ads, buying leads?
So I'll tell you, I've got money in Home Advisor right now because I canceled with them. And then they were like, hey, we want you back. We'll give you a bunch of, yep. I'll give you a bunch of free money if you come back and try it again. So I've been sitting on that money, not really using it,
Okay.
keeping it as a
Okay.
backup. And then I tried, I guess it's just the money because you obviously, I don't think you get results when you do $2 or $3 a day, but that's kind of where I've had financially. I don't have a ton to invest in that. Like I said, every penny I have right now
Well,
is like
really,
that.
but what it comes down to is like you have to look at that $7,500 as a boost. Like you should be reinvesting a good portion of profit for at least a year. Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't be like, oh, I'm making $3,000 on this job when you subtract the labor and materials. Like that
Yeah.
mindset is an employee mindset, right? A
Yeah.
business owner mindset is okay. Labor, materials, reinvesting in marketing, reinvesting in ads, then I get what's left because those are going to propel me to the next job and the next job. So with you
Yeah.
already knowing the ecosystem of Home Advisor, I think turn them on now. Don't wait.
Yeah.
How much credit did they give you?
I don't know. They gave me like $400 or something. I've got
Perfect.
like,
Use it all. Use it all. Turn it on right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Right
So let me
now,
ask you
because
this,
you're
man, because
preparing. Go ahead.
I don't, I don't have like my estimating process. I use Joist. My estimating process is subpar, man, because like I'm the old school, and I mean, I watched you on Nick's podcast
Right.
or Nick's show. The old school mentality is that shoot from the hip. Like I sent a picture to my brother. I'm like, I was thinking this. I don't have a dialed in
Right.
process to
I'll hook you
execute in a
up.
way.
So
So
here's the thing. I'm going to actually give you my sales course too. It has everything you need to do to accurately estimate paint jobs within 15 minutes. You give me any exterior house, I will come up with an accurate price in 15 minutes. I have it so dialed down, I don't even measure. I just look at the square footage of the house to give to the customer. Okay. And pretty much show them, hey, I came up with a price based off of this measurement here. But really what it comes down to is how well I know my team and I allocate time. The problem with you is that you're
it's
doing it.
me.
So for
Yeah.
you, you're thinking, man, I don't know if I want to make only $2,000 to be here for 3 weeks. Right. That's the
Yeah.
thought, right? A little bit
Yeah.
different than me. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna have my guys there for a week. That's gonna generate, 10 grand. They're all gonna get paid for their time, and obviously that's good. And then I'm gonna make this. Am I okay with making that? Yes, cool. Because ultimately I could break even on jobs and sell them for as low as I want. But what I do as a business owner is all I'm looking for is the profit. I'm not looking for my wage. If I went to a job and started looking for my wage, that's so variable. It could be based on what you're feeling that day or how the last job went when you did something similar. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
like,
dude, man. That's the truth, man. That's exactly how it is right now. I'm like,
right. So like, you're like,
you
I
know,
just did the same size house and I feel like death. I want to make double, and, and,
yeah,
and, and that mentality is stopping you from moving forward. So like,
yeah,
I'm just telling you, this plan that I gave you, finding that one person to take over,
yeah,
you can't bring your brother in anymore. Don't even text him to ask questions, because the more you do that, the less you have to learn yourself. What you need to be doing is focusing on this individual that you hire. You will hire somebody if you're willing to pay $30 an hour. Okay. You
yeah,
definitely will get a solid painter, and you want to oversee them. You want to get to know them, maybe work with them for a day, see how they work, introduce them to the customer, see how they interact with customers. But what you're looking for is a leader that you can say, hey man, go take care of this. You're going to get, you're good. You got it. They don't need to
yeah.
know that you don't have work. Let me tell you something real quick. If I were a franchise and I came into your town and I knew absolutely no one and I had absolutely no jobs, what would I do? The first thing I do is hire, and then
Yeah,
I'd buy leads. All it takes is one job to put those two things together, and I'm off to the races in the painting business, bro.
yeah,
I mean, this is the easiest business to go from zero to $1 million, probably in the world. There's no inventory needed. Sherwin-Williams has that. You don't need a warehouse. You could be completely mobile.
yeah,
Easiest business, 100%, with the highest respect out of all the trades.
yeah. Well, because we make
So,
everything look good.
absolutely. We're the artists. So come
We
on
make
now.
everybody look good.
So from that plan that I gave you, it's a 4-step
Okay,
plan.
okay,
Okay. Got to watch the courses. I'll give you both for free just for jumping on here. Number 2, okay, got to put out ads. The courses will teach you how to do that. Okay. Number
okay,
3, phone interviews and in-person interviews. You have the metric. I'm willing to pay $30 an hour, full-time work. Don't worry about how you're going to get it.
okay.
Get rid of that. Turn Home Advisor on now, because there's a feedback loop of when they're actually going to actually be able to book the job. So
Yeah.
if you're trying to time a job from 4 to 5 weeks from now, you need to start doing the estimates now.
All right, man. I'm turning them on right now. There you go.
So as soon as you get that lead, call them right away. DripJobs is my software that would follow up with them automatically. You're not ready for that yet. You don't need it yet. But when you do get to a point where you're getting
Yeah,
leads from all angles, you're going to want something that follows up with them. Okay.
yeah,
That's step 1. It's like Joist on steroids. It does way more than just send them a quote. Okay. But when it comes to pricing jobs, don't overthink it. It's,
yeah,
how much do I need to pay for paint? Which you probably know based off of looking at it by now, right?
yeah. Roughly.
Give or
I'm,
take.
I'm
And
decent.
you can always overestimate, right? And then
That's
you
what
can,
I do usually. I'm like,
everyone
it's
does
probably
that
30
just in
gallons,
case.
but I'll do 40 gallons just in case
Okay.
any of.
So right now, the way you're pricing jobs is, and all right, I know the paint cost. Am I gonna feel good in my heart after I'm done this job and I get a check? And that way
Yeah,
of pricing jobs is what's paralyzing you, because you're putting too much emotion into it. And when you
yeah,
put emotion into price, it goes through the moon,
yeah. I've been
right?
trying to like switch to a because basically, and what's the golden ideal is 15% material cost. So I've just been saying, okay, well, if materials are 15% of this exterior, then what
You
should
can't
the
do
job
that.
be?
It's backwards. That's backwards thinking when it comes to that. You need to
Yeah,
start off by identifying the cost before you identify the margin. You can't
yeah,
you do
yeah,
the
yeah,
margin is retrospective. You don't do
yeah,
margin. I mean, you can do it, but what you want to do is you want to get to the price first
yeah,
by
yeah,
looking at the cost, and then you turn around and look at what the margins are based off of that
yeah,
cost.
yeah.
So if you go in margin first, I don't even know how you'd come up with an accurate price. Like, you could.
Yeah,
You could.
I guess if the materials are 15% and you come up with, what's 6.6 and a quarter times 15%, I mean, you could come up with pretty close,
Kind
and
of tricky.
it is
Yeah.
tricky, but I mean, I was trying to do that more than just shoot from the hip. That's been kind of
Right.
how I've been.
So it again, like what I'm saying is two factors here. You have labor and you have material. If you know that you have a guy now at third, let's break down your job real quick while we're here. You have a $7,500 job. Okay. All right. $7,500 job. You ready? How much
Yep.
did you pay for material? What was the material on that job? You have them already. So if
See
you
here,
probably
boom,
about
boom. I'm probably about, well, so because the siding's in bad shape, I'm probably about $1,200 in materials right now.
$1,200. Perfect. So worst case scenario, let's say things get crazy. You spend 1,500. Is that fair?
Yep. Yep.
All right. So that's 6,000 left. Okay. Now you're hiring a guy at $30 an hour. Okay. And you want him to work full time for 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
So that's 10 days. Okay.
Yep.
With $30 an hour, he's working 8-hour days, right?
Yep.
All right. So if you look at just employee taxes and all that, and I know maybe you don't have that infrastructure set up yet, I'm not worried about it. So let's say that it comes out to 35 and I'm overestimating there times 8. Okay. It's $280 a day and he's working 10 days. So that gentleman is going to cost you all in $2,800.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's 6,000 minus 2,800? That's
It's
3,200.
3,200. Yep.
Okay. $3,200. That's your profit right there of the job. You've paid for all paint, overestimated it, and you paid for labor, overestimated it. Right there at the minimum, if he takes 2 weeks to do the job, you've made $3,200. You didn't lift a finger.
Yeah.
During that time, you're selling, canvassing, and getting ready for the next one. Okay.
Yep.
And obviously, as you grow, you're going to be building another team, to do the same exact thing and duplicating that process. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you made 3,200 without touching anything. Now let's say that you take $500 away from that, right? That makes $2,700 in 2 weeks for you. And you subtracted your $500 to reinvest in marketing back into the business. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of those $500, let's say you get 8 leads at, I don't know, $70 a lead or whatever, how that works out. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of those 8 leads, you only convert 1, but it's a $10,000 job this time.
Yeah.
And you do it again. And then you take your $500 and you put it back. But this time you get 2 jobs. And this time you do it again. And you just keep doing it again and again and again. And this whole time you didn't touch a paintbrush.
So that's what I'm at. So you're like me, personal and stuff. How did you transition? Because my clients like dealing with me, they feel comfortable.
Don't think that they love you that much, bro. I mean, they want a good job. They just want a good job. They just want a good job.
I mean, okay.
Project manager. That doesn't mean you have to run away from the job. I'm just telling you, you're not painting. That doesn't mean you can't stand there. That doesn't mean you can't pop it up in the driveway, dude. I do this all the time, dude. Hands crossed, like talking with them, telling them how great my team is. Saying, "Oh man, it doesn't look great. You should go a step further. Hey, I'm actually going to come back and do a color consultation with you." You actually have the freedom and the time to do stuff like that now. You're going to sell more jobs with that freedom and that time.
Yeah.
But right now, you're going to estimates drenched in sweat, paint all over you. 6 o'clock, they're eating dinner, and they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. Man, ain't that the old school method?
That's the old school method, man. Smelling like a full day of work.
Yeah, like a bag of onions.
Bag of onions, man. And then you ravage together an estimate.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, thanks. I'm eating dinner right now. You could just walk around the house.
Yeah.
Okay. At 11 o'clock, they were fresh, ready to go outside watering the plants. They could have done a walk around with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the difference. That's the difference. So again, your big one thing that I can give you right now.
I need a person.
You
I
need
need
a
help.
person. If we ever talk again, don't ever tell me that hiring someone is a burden. It's a blessing. Change that way of thinking. You will
Yeah.
see your business will multiply. Trust me. Every time.
Okay.
Because even when you get
All
that
right.
one person, you're going to be like, man, I don't know if I can handle somebody else. Do the numbers like I did. Be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me help someone else. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I got for you, man. If I
I
go to,
appreciate it.
what do you
I
think, man?
really
Was that helpful?
it absolutely was helpful, man. It's a reality check for me because, like I said, man, I've always stressed so bad because I'm like finding the right person, because you also a lot of part of it is trust. You know what I mean?
You're
You're
paying
like, oh,
top
okay,
dollar, bro.
yeah.
It's an, here's the thing. When you look for good
So I should
people,
just go steal somebody from one of these big
never
companies.
do that.
Just,
Right then, no.
just-
I'm never poach somebody. Make the offer so good that they jump ship themselves. That's okay.
yeah.
Never poach. Make the
No,
offer
I
so
know.
good.
I
Yeah,
just,
yeah. But you got to realize, dude. We're on a podcast here. I just want to make sure they know. Don't ever
yeah.
poach somebody. It's just
No.
it really creates an expectation that it's harder. You have to maintenance that relationship a
Well,
lot more.
it creates a bad name. Like people
It
like that guy
does.
steals
It
people from
does.
other
Yeah.
companies.
But
Yeah,
if
100%.
yeah. So like I like to go into relationships, even keel, like, hey, listen, your goal is to create a better opportunity. Right now, let me tell you why it would be a good opportunity for a random painter out there to work with you. Number one, the pay is phenomenal. You're already committed to paying top dollar, okay? As if you were $1 million company. Okay.
If they can, I mean, because that's what it ends like. To me, it's worth it if they can do it all themselves. I don't
100%.
need.
Your time is the most valuable asset you have because you can use your time to generate more income. So it's a
Well, and
good
time is the
investment.
only currency that you can spend once.
That's it. That's it. So for $30 an hour, you're trading all that time you're gonna have with your kids, maybe even like taking
Yeah,
a day off. And that's the freedom of owning a
yeah,
business. Yeah, wait till you grow your business, then you can do that. But where I'm getting at is that it's a better opportunity to work with Legendary
yep,
Painting. Hey, just so you know. And then what you want to do is create that hiring experience. Hey, just so you know, this is our hiring process. Thank you for
yeah,
applying. Now we're going to do a phone interview. Okay, great. Once you pass the phone interview, we're going to set up an in-person interview.
yeah,
And in that in-person interview, you say, hey, as much as I love to just say yes, you could start tomorrow. Actually, we've got to do a background check first. And then we do a
yep,
1 week working interview. And I'm going to actually pay you $2 less than your wage, just as a way of kind of helping you understand that you are in a training period. Let's see if we have
yep,
chemistry. And then if you pass that training period and you do a great job for this job, hey, you have full-time employment, man. We'll have a great business relationship. That gets
yeah,
somebody excited to work for Legendary Painting rather than, hey, man, can you start tomorrow? Is
yeah,
your business, that's the thing that I like to say, is like, is your business a cause for celebration when they get hired? Or is it like, yeah, I got a job with this
yeah,
Legendary Painting place? No, it's like when people
yeah,
get hired by Premium Painting, I want people to go out to eat
yeah,
with their families because
yeah.
it was
Excited.
an achievement.
It's a party.
It's a party,
Yeah, yeah,
because the structure is there, the security is there, the stability is there. We're leveling up as a family. And that's
yeah,
what I want to create. And you can create that now, even if you don't have it, by creating the experience
yeah,
and being the boss that I know you are.
yeah.
That's what I got,
I
bro.
appreciate it, man. I really do. Definitely gave me a lot to digest, man. Really kind of hit home for me, man. Because I
I
mean,
love it.
basically everything you said was true. So
I lived it.
yeah, bro. Yeah, I
I lived it.
appreciate it.
No problem, man. Hey, keep in touch and send me your email. I'll get you access to those courses. You can hit the ground running.
Awesome. Have a good day. I appreciate you having me on
No
today.
problem, brother. Absolutely. Thank you for your time.